Ripple is the real culprit for the collapse of one of the largest transactions in the cryptocurrency sector. Brad Garlinghouse stated today that he has acquired Hidden Road for $1,250,000,000, one of the biggest cryptocurrency deals ever. To begin with, who is Hidden Road? What are they doing? What long-term effects will this have on XRP and Ripple? Is this exciting, I'll go into each of those specifics and more. By the time you finish watching this video, you will know exactly what Hidden Road is and does for the cryptocurrency industry. Read David Schwartz's response. I have the response of Monica Long. Jake Claver has also put together a thread explaining why this is going to be really significant. So, let's get started, shall we? Thus, we realize that it's the biggest deal ever, one of the largest transactions in the history of cryptocurrency, but the price isn't the most crucial factor. The agreement represents a once-in-a-lifetime chance for cryptocurrencies to get access to the biggest and most reliable traditional markets, and vice versa. Along with other crucial roles that banks have traditionally handled, such as Hidden Road, prime brokers have established themselves as the go-to middleman for the biggest hedge funds, market makers, OTC desk, quant traders, and more. For many years, Ripple has been a client of Hidden Road. Additionally, we are aware of their extensive experience and direct clearing of up to 300 financial institutions worldwide, totaling $3 trillion a year. This is the investment and activity that will access XRP and its ledgers, which provide the foundation for quick, effective, scalable, and inexpensive value management. Hidden Road will use XRP to clear some trades instead of waiting 24 hours to settle trades using fiat rails. As a result, RLUSD will be used as collateral for all of its premium brokerage services, including cross-asset crypto and traditional instruments and trades. Man, they have therefore been employed by them for many years. Therefore, Ripple is aware of how crucial they will be to their business, and it's fascinating to turn this around, isn't it? What will Ripple do with this cooperation now that it exists? Will they go after some of these banks that may have initially refused to deal with Ripple? Does this put Ripple in a position of authority? Or can these banks that might not want to work with a cryptocurrency company, will they simply go and use something else instead? That is incredibly fascinating, and I would like to know more. Alright, Hidden Road will become one of the biggest non-bank prime brokers in the world and greatly increase its capacity to serve its pipeline with this deal and the support of Ripple's sizable balance sheet. Oh no! Every time Brad says something along those lines, I wish I had a microphone I could just drop. That was quite profound. Okay, so if you're wondering what Prime Brokers is, this is what Chad Seangrabber put together, and he deserves a lot of credit for it. Prime Brokers essentially restate Brad's remarks here along with their key. This is the payments article. Ripple is now the first cryptocurrency business to own and run a multi-asset prime broker as a result of the acquisition. Thus, although they are the first, they won't be the last. Let me explain. DeFi and CeFi, as well as traditional finance, TradFi, and DeFi, will be crucial in the future because of their merger. This is because the on- and off-ramps are connected to move money into and out of the system. Therefore, I really don't need to read you the entire thing. This is an interesting element of a lot of the topics we just covered. It states that the top 10 stablecoins by market share, which account for more than 90% of all tokens and issuances, are denominated in US dollars. Thus, we are aware of the significance of the US dollar and the current role of the crypto industry in the US government. The United States Treasurer, Scott Bassett, has been emphasizing the significance of it. For stablecoins and the US dollar's future through stablecoins, Okay, so this is essentially what David Schwartz and Joe Katz say. The purchase of Hidden Road by Ripple marks a turning point for the XRP in its ledger. Cool. Every day, the prime broker processes over 50 million traction transactions and clears over 10 billion on a variety of traditional rails, waiting up to 24 hours for the transactions to settle. Consider even a small percentage of those transactions on the XRP ledger. That's precisely what Hidden Road intends to accomplish. You require transactions, which is why this is so crucial. Value must continuously enter as Ripple as these don't know, stops to the end, don't you? When it gains increasing strength. It will continue to add businesses to its armory, in my opinion. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if this were the only thing you heard from Ripple for the summer. I believe they'll be out here, forming new alliances throughout the summer. According to Monica Long, the core principles of both Ripple and Hidden Road are to improve the financial infrastructure for the international transfer of money, value, in a way that goes beyond walled gardens. Walled gardens are really a critique of the current financial system where no one is on the same ledger. As anyone familiar with the cryptocurrency industry will tell you, it takes a long time and everyone uses something different. There is a lot of conflict, and if those walled gardens were removed, everything would be connected. Okay, so the main structure for today's crypto natives is the disjointed rails and monolithic entities of the previous decentralized finance. We have an opportunity to remove such obstacles. Thus, only a small number of goods have been targeted, mostly OTC desks, quant traders, or hedge funds. Therefore, this would be a means for Ripple to demonstrate that traditional finance and DeFi can be connected, and when that occurs, the scene will be breathtaking. Okay, so through Hidden Road, an institutional investor can now post a variety of collateral types such as cryptocurrency and tokenized assets, and soon RLUSD, to counterparties, and trades across more than 100 venues and liquidity providers that support more than 1,000 assets across FX, cryptocurrency, fixed income, and other assets. Today, especially with risk management, this is no little accomplishment. The potential is enormous when combined with the use of the XRP ledger for future post-trade settlement. Please pardon me, but there will be a lot more to say in the coming weeks about what was once hypothetical but is now a fact. However, I would like to thank the team that labored to make this deal possible today. Therefore, a huge thank you to the Ripple crew. This is also spreading throughout CNBC International, as you can see. You are aware that Jack the Ripper posted this, but what do you know? First, let's look at this. This is worth looking into, in my opinion. Jake Claver has a YouTube account of his own. I strongly advise you to look into Jake, a truly wonderful man. He claims that 300 financial institutions are served by Hidden Road, which handles 10 billion transactions per day. What occurs when just consider that. XRP is being used by large financial institutions for its intended purpose. What happens when demand soars and a little portion of the 10 billion daily volume begins to be sold through the XRP ledger? Retail traders are not what these are. Hedge funds are what these are. And market makers who will be purchasing a lot of XRP since they depend on it to fuel their utilities. All of Hidden Road's premium brokerage products will use RLUSD as collateral. By doing this, it becomes the first stablecoin that permits cross-measuring between traditional markets and digital assets. I don't say it in a single sentence very frequently, damn it. Cross-enabling, simply, you're still getting off of all the drugs, okay? Relax. Be amiable. This purchase allays concerns about regulatory issues and risk efficiency. Ripple's more than 60 licenses for compliance, RLUSD for stability and collateral, and XRP for quick settlement. When dealing with these kinds of banks and financial organizations, keep in mind that compliance is the absolute minimum that you must do. Don't invite you to the meeting if these items aren't integrated into your everyday activities and if Ripple's banking technology doesn't include compliance into everything it does. The important point is that Ripple has always demonstrated how seriously they take compliance, not just that they believe in it. Okay, Ripple now provides a comprehensive solution from trade execution to financing to settlement, all driven by XRP and RLUSD within the same ecosystem, as laws become clearer and institutional demand increases. The instantaneous settlement of the XRP ledger, in contrast to existing markets that run on 24-hour clocks, may be a misprint. Yes, this acquisition of a reputable prime broker with established contacts represents a radical change in how institutions will manage post-trade operations. Ripple simply took that obstacle away. These customers already have billions of dollars in faith in Hidden Road. They will now also have faith in XRP. You mean they'll just Ripple too? Settlement expenses are significantly reduced when XRP is used. By passing these savings on